Today's lesson we are going to look at angle relationships that are formed by parallel lines cut by a transversal. In order to do that, we first have to define what parallel lines are. If you look at number 1, it says parallel lines are two lines that never intersect. So you can see that those are the two parallel lines that I've highlighted here. They don't intersect. The transversal is a line that cuts the set of parallel lines. So again, here are our parallel lines. The transversal would be the line that cuts through both the parallel lines. When that happens, we have 8 angles that are formed. All right, here's angle 1, here's angle 2, here's angle 4, here's angle 3, and then again down here we have some angles, angle 5, 6, 7, and 8. So those are the 8 angles that are formed. And when these angles are formed, they have a variety of relationships. All right, the first relationship I want to go through is corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are two angles that lie in the same position on each parallel line while touching the transversal, and they have the same measure. All right, so for example, if we're looking at two angles that lie in the same position, I would use angle 1 and angle 5 as a pair of corresponding angles. They're both in the top left-hand side, and you can see that they're kind of like a carbon copy of themselves. They're both like those obtuse angles. It's just like this one's down here and this one's up here. They match up. They're in the same spot. So angle 1 and angle 5 would be corresponding. All right, what else would be corresponding? Well, who else is in the same spot? I would say maybe angle 2 with angle 6. They're in the same spot. They're both on the top right of their section. So that would be another example. All right, what would be another example of a pair of corresponding angles? How about angles 3 and 7? So angle 3 with angle 7. And then lastly, angle 4 with angle 8. They're both in the bottom right of their cluster. So those are corresponding angles. All right. Another set of angles that we need to talk about are interior angles, angles that lie on the inside of the parallel lines. So again, here are the parallel lines. So the angles that are interior are between those parallel lines. They're inside the lines. Interior means inside. So I would say angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6. Those are all inside or in between the parallel lines. Interior angles. All right, let's go to the next page. Exterior angles, the opposite. They lie on the outside of the parallel lines. So again, if I look at my parallel lines again, I have the ones that are not between. So I have angle 1, angle 2, angle 8, and angle 7. They're not between the parallel lines. So those are all considered exterior angles. All right. Now let's put this together with the next one. The next one says alternate interior angles. So not only do they have to be on the interior, they also have to be on alternate sides of the transversal or opposite sides of the transversal. Remember, the transversal is this. All right, so let's start first with interior. If they're interior angles, they have to be in between the parallel lines. So either 3, 4, 5, or 6. But now if they're alternate interior, they have to be on opposite sides of the transversal. So like for example, angle 3 is interior and he's on the opposite side of the transversal with angle 6. So angles 3 and 6 are considered alternate interior angles. They also have the same angle measure. Another example is 5 with 4. They're interior angles and they're on opposite sides of the transversal, and they're also equal. Now we've done all the interior angles, so that's it. So those are the alternate interior angles. Then we have something called alternate exterior angles, angles that lie on the outside of the parallel lines and opposite sides of the transversal. So again, here's our transversal. Here are our parallel lines. We want something on the outside of the parallel lines and on the opposite side of the transversal. So for example, like 1 is exterior, and 1 would be alternate exterior with angle 8. All right, they're both on the exterior, but 1 is on this side of the transversal, and then 8's on the other side of the transversal. So 1 and 8 would be considered alternate exterior angles. The other pair would be angle 7 with angle 2. They're both on the outside of the parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides of that transversal. They also have the same angle measure. All right, we have 2 more. All right, the first one would be consecutive, or I wrote same side interior angles. So use that, that's fine. You don't have to write them as consecutive. Same side interior, that's really what consecutive interior means. All right, so again, if I'm looking at the parallel lines and I want them same side interior, that means that they're going to be the same side of the transversal. So here's my transversal. So let's look at the interior angles specifically, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Same side interior would be 4 with 6. They're both on the same side. They're both on this side of the transversal. These are not equal to each other, by the way. They're going to be supplementary, which we'll see in the next lesson. My other pair is 3 with 5. They're on the same side of the transversal, and they're on the inside of the parallel lines. All right, and then same side exterior, very similar. So we're looking on the outside of the parallel lines. So again, here's my parallel lines. Here is my transversal. So if we want to look outside the parallel lines, we want to look at 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. So if we're on the same side of the transversal, you would do, like, let's say 2 with 8. 8's exterior, 2's exterior. Those are on the same side of the transversal, and they're both on the outside of the parallel lines. So angle 2 and angle 8 would be that same side exterior. And then also angle 1 with angle 7. Those are on the same side of the transversal, and they're both on the exterior of the parallel lines. All right, so those are your vocabulary words that you need to know, and this will help you with your assignment for today. Let me know if you have any additional questions.